ACL at-home rehabilitation, 4 months post-op. Warm-up, 10-minute jog. This can be done at an at-home treadmill or on the street. Focus on running straight and avoiding cutting, pivoting, and turning sharply.
Static stretching. Hold each position up to a minute 3 times. Make sure you focus on good form. For this, you can use a towel or a TheraBand, but for the hamstring stretch, you want to make sure that you keep your legs straight and ensure that your knee does not bend. You also want to make sure that the opposite hip does not come up when you are stretching.
Standing quad stretch. Place your foot on a surface behind and lean further back as it will stretch the muscle more. Do not lay on a flat surface because this will activate other muscles and we are focusing solely on the quad stretch.
Calf stretch. You want to find a wall and place your heel on the ground with your toes up on the wall. Lean into the stretch. Make sure you're wearing adequate footwear as well as making sure your toes are pointed up.
Four-way ankle. Begin by doing 1 set of 10. When this becomes too easy, move to 2 sets of 10 and 3 sets of 10. Once that becomes too easy, advance into a new resistance band. It is important to keep your legs stable and only move your foot in the opposite direction of which you are pulling the band. When pulling your toes up towards you, either find a partner or someone at home to hold the band for you, or you can attach it in a door in order to get the resistance. It is important that only your ankle is moving and not your leg, and to slowly bring your foot back and not let it spring back with the band.
Single leg balance, unsteady surface. This can include towels or pillows. You want to focus on your form with this and begin with 3 sets of 30 seconds. When this is easy, you can progress to eyes closed and tandem pose. Make sure that you stand upright and you do not lean or pick up your feet. Do not flail your body or let your hanging foot touch the ground if at all possible.
Single leg pickup. Begin with 1 set of 6 cups, placing them in a half arc pattern. If cups are unavailable, floor taps work just as well. Progress to starting with a straight knee and then to a bent knee for extra quad activation. It is important to keep your waist centered over your leg, only going down to tap the cups and coming straight back up. Try to keep your back straight and avoid letting your arch come off the ground and going on your tippy toes. It is important that your other foot does not touch the ground as we are focusing on balancing.
Line jumps. 1 set of 30 seconds, and then you want to increase the reps and duration as it gets easier. Make sure your feet are together and you do not favor one side. Also avoid individual jumps.
Single leg step down. Begin with 1 set of 10 and progress to 2 sets of 10 and 3 sets of 10. Progress to a higher step when needed. Heel lightly strikes the ground, avoiding hip drop, acting like you're sitting back in a chair. Do not let your foot flatly go down on the ground or your weight completely distribute to the other leg. Lunges to unsteady surface. Begin with 1 set of 10 and then progress sets accordingly. Using a towel or pillow, you want to focus on your form. Keep your knees behind your toes and work on balance and quad contraction. You can also progress by using different household objects to lunge upon. Avoid upper body sway and work on good weight shifting. Also make sure that you don't lunge too far or you could slip and fall. Glute matrix. 5 different exercises starting with sideline single leg raise, followed by circles in both clockwise and counterclockwise motion. Next, make the shape of a square and then ride the bike. Begin with 10 reps of each exercise, progressing to 2 sets and then 3 sets. If those become too easy, you can add weight to the ankle. Focus on form by both stacking your shoulders and your hips and turning your hip slightly into extension. For this specific exercise, you want to keep your core tight and make sure that your hips stay aligned. External rotation of the foot emphasizes the strengthening of the glute medius. If your shoulders and hips are not aligned and your core is not tight, you end up losing control, making this exercise ineffective.
4-way hip. Use a door or front. Begin with 1 set of 10 each direction. When this becomes easy, you can move to 2 sets and then 3 sets of 10. Progress to different strength bands and tubing. When doing 4-way hip, make sure that you keep your leg and the band straight. You want to focus on upper body alignment. Make sure you keep your weight centered and do not let the bands pull you. Let your hip do the work. Avoid letting foot touch the ground during movement and make sure you keep your body control. Also, wear shoes.
Single leg RDL. Form is most important. Start with no weight, 1 set of 10, progressing to 2 sets of 10 and 3 sets of 10. To progress further, add weight. Get creative. Anything at home will work. Here we are using a milk jug. It is important to contract your core, focus on the hip hinge, and make your hamstrings work. Core contraction helps with balance.
Wall sits. Hold 30 seconds, progress to a minute, and then 2 minutes. Once this is easy, you can progress to squeezing a ball in between your legs. Also, make sure you contract your core as well as make sure your knees are at 90 degrees. You can add more stability by holding your arms out. Angles are important. Too little or too much angles can make the exercise ineffective. 90 degrees is optimal.
Bridge and single leg raise. Begin by holding bridge and single leg raise for 5 seconds for 30 times. Progress to holding for 10 seconds and 15 seconds. Begin by first pelvic tilting before activating your core to bridge up. Keep the legs straight. It is important that both the single leg raise and the bridge happen at the same time, otherwise the exercise is considered ineffective.
Planks. Engage core. Begin with 30-second holds 3 times. Progress to a minute for 3 times. If this becomes easy, add weight to your back. For planks, keep your back flat. Focus on core strength. Avoid arching your back and sticking your butt up in the air.
Russian twists. Begin with 5-pound weight for 2 sets of 10. Once that becomes easy, move to 10 pounds for 2 sets of 10. Once that becomes easy, try V-sits. In this exercise, it is important to activate your core and hold your posture as best as you can. Try keeping your core still and not rotating as much and lifting your legs off the ground.